Bang! And they're going off. There goes the starting gun, and there goes the show. Hi, everybody. Matt here from Matt Likes Comics. There was a slight change of plans today when our original guest, Guy from Collect What You Like Comics, CWYL, contacted me and said he needed to postpone his appearance. But luckily, my next week's guest has decided that he was free to join me this week. So, ladies and gentlemen, and beings of all gentle beings everywhere, please welcome to the show, Mike, better known as Chonko Comics and Nerdculture. Mike, how are you?
Doing well. Yeah, I think some people know the song by now.
Oh, I know the song. It gets in my head sometimes. I find myself singing it to myself. Well, what can you do?
Right.
You know. And I swear, honestly, I had to go to the office this week, so I missed my Monday morning of Sunday Night Chonko, and it was like I couldn't catch it until luckily I knew that was going to happen, so I did catch it Sunday night for once when it actually came out. Right. But usually you're my Monday morning. Let's get started. Let's get the week started. So
yeah,
it's appreciated out there. Ever since you came on, I have had nothing but good, pure entertainment from you. And I hope the people out there feel that way too, because not to my surprise so much, but still it was a little surprising. Chonko is the most named man in finalists for the Comic Book Community Awards with 4. Well, way to go, Chonko. Well, 3 on his own and 1 with the live show.
Yeah, one is, both of us. That's Rich and I both. Yeah.
And that's amazing. That show, I remember when you started, I think I was your 3rd guest or something like that, when you started doing a format similar to me. And then You've managed to move on and get on to the bigger stage by getting yourself some people who are big in the industry. And I mean some people who are big in the industry.
Sure.
I am very, very, very proud to be a Chonko maniac and a big nasty maniac as well. But in particular, because I've watched your channel since I was your 20th subscriber, and I've watched your channel since the beginning. And I'm really glad to see the success you're having. So my first question to you is, how do you pursue getting guests for the live show? Rich has said on several occasions that you're more of the guy who manages to get the people.
Yeah. I mean, I have a little bit of a gift of the gab, I guess. And first thing is I ask, I reach out, and I'm not shy at all. Like if someone says no, that's no. I would never approach someone again. If someone says maybe, well, you're going to hear back from me. We're going to talk again. A lot of it is I'm reaching out to people I really like. I like what they're doing. And so when I'm talking to them, it isn't, I'm not reaching out to whoever say yes. Like I wouldn't want to do that. It's I'm reaching out to people who I really like what they're doing, and I'm talking to them about how much I like what they're doing. And I think whoever you are, I think it's human nature. If someone really likes your work and really, appreciates what you're doing, maybe you'll be more receptive. But there's a lot of like either just silence or leaving you on red, or there's a lot where people just do not. Or the other one is for a lot of the big names, they'll say yes, and then it gets drug on for like 3 months of trying to find a date that works because they're so busy. That happens. But yeah, it's a lot of approaching specifically people who I really like what they're doing, and then also trying to mix in some stuff where it's a little bit different, where it's not like this past weekend we had Mike from Warehouse Collectibles on, where having somebody on. A lot of people liked it. My dad loved it. My dad called me and told me about how much fun he thought it was. And having not only something one note, so not having all writers or all one specific genre or one specific type of guest. I think that's helped too. It kind of keeps it fresh. But yeah, a lot of it is just really just approaching a lot of people that I really like, and then reapproaching them, if I don't hear something or if they gave me a maybe.
That's very cool. So I love how, as I said, you've gone from people like me to people like Dan Mendoza and Suspiria. And I understand you've got another big one coming very soon.
We do. We have some.
And I won't spoil it. I'll let you tell it. But I am very looking forward to one of the guests you've got coming up. So I'm very excited about it.
There's someone I don't have a date yet, so I can't really announce. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it would be that it's someone that I've been talking to for a while, where it's just trying to find the right date. But yeah, I will have an announcement here on your show. I'll talk about somebody or talk about a show that's coming up.
Very cool. Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to announce it now? Okay. So Rich and I are going to be one of the channels streaming for Comics Curing Cancer this year.
Very cool.
We're doing it on the 24th of October. And what we're doing is we're going to have some of our friends on doing live art. They're going to do sketch covers for us, and the covers are going to be raffled off. So right now, the people who have committed, Nick Marinkovich, who is just fantastic, and Suspiria have both committed to doing it.
Awesome.
And talking to some of our other friends, talking to I'm going to see if we can work it out with Michelle and David Diaz. I'm going to try to work it out with Ryan G. Brown, and might talk to some of our other friends. But it'll be a live show where we're talking, hanging out, goofing off like we normally do. But they'll be doing live drawing on like a sketch cover, and all their covers will be auctioned real time for Comics Curing Cancer.
Oh, that's amazing, and I'll make sure to announce it a few times on my channel as we get closer.
It's going to be early that week, by the way. It's an early one. I know this is a long time away, but our time slot is 1 to 2:30 Eastern. But yeah, still working out all the details. I hope to have maybe 4 or 5 artists working, but right now, 2. Nick Marinkovich. If you're not following Nick Marinkovich on Instagram, go. He is a monster. He's so good. And then Suspiria, who's one of our good friends. I talk to her quite often, and she was in right away.
Very cool. Let's take a moment before we get much further to say hi to everybody in the Nefarious Comics chat. The Nefarious Comics chat. One of these days I'll make the little thing. I'll get around to it. First, we've got Lewis for Second Floor Comics. And Lewis, despite what you say, comic fans are the normal people. It's everybody else that's weird. All right. Cam Unin, still first, comments deleted. You all know the story. Well, I'm sorry, Cam Unin, but you'll always be first in my heart. And Cam Unin will be on our show on September 8th.
Nice.
And let's see. Veronica's here. Hi, Veronica.
Hello.
And Longest Cosplays is here. Good to see you.
Alex.
More Cam Unin talk. More conversation. John Harrison is here.
No, John.
Hi, John. Everybody likes to talk. I love that. Robbie Josephs, the awesome, amazing Robbie is here.
One of the best.
Well, we don't know a lot, Robbie, but we're going to try anyway and have a show. Speaking of the live show, here's your compatriot, Rich.
Go, Rich.
Good to see you, Rich. Getting ready to go on with Nate, no doubt. We've got Kenneth Bird here. Hi, Kenneth.
Hi, Kenneth.
Jeff Jack is here. Hi, Jeff.
Jeff.
And so is Turtwig.
Good to see you, Turtwig.
Dan's Comic Corner. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Dan.
Kenny Numbers.
Kenny.
He loves your taste in comics.
Thank you.
Always good to know.
Yeah.
Nate's here. Hi, Nate.
Yo, Nate.
And Rob Saint is here. Rob's good to see you.
Good to see you, Rob.
And Mike Dennis.
Hey, Mike.
Also great to see you. And that reminds me, with the number of members that are in tonight, the membership, August 31st is the deadline for my members giveaway. I have 21 members currently, so the odds are pretty good. You'll win the prize. Yep. Hi, Lyle.
Yo, Lyle.
Nathan is here. Hi, Nathan Appel.
Nathan, how are you?
Eric is in the house. Good
Eric.
to see you, Eric.
Good to see you.
Another guy with a couple of nominations.
That's right.
Congratulations to
He did.
SideQuest. And he'll also be on Nate's show tonight if you're going to catch it afterwards. So, Mike, besides doing the live show, and now obviously you've gotten into the comics curing cancer, what are some of the more plans that you've got for the show for you and Rich to do?
Well, I mean, we have a lot of interesting creators coming up. I'm shameless at promoting, so I'll just say the names. But this week we have Joel Herrera, one of the great working artists like on the planet. If you're not following Joel Herrera, he's really great. Followed by J.K. Woodward the next week, who he's doing the artwork for Joe Schmalke's new Kickstarter. Joe's a good friend of ours, nominated for a Ringo Award right now for best writing. And J.K. Woodward's kind of known for Star Trek stuff, so I'm sure Nate probably knows him. Followed by the following week, Jonathan Marks Baravecchia, who did
That's
this
a name I've heard before.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one a lot. I think he's like underrated. He did this cool cul-de-sac cover. I have it over here. I'll show it maybe a little later. But then the 19th, we have Marko Jerkovic on, who he did that insane like a Fallout 4 variant, the one that's like it goes for like $5,000 or whatever. But he also did this really cool Kickstarter, and that I just got that I want to talk to him about. On the 26th, we have James from Shawshank Collection coming back. He was on once before. He has one of the best like pre-code horror, pre-code crime, good girl comic collections, and he does insane giveaways. He gives away like huge Golden Age books. He's a really generous guy. And then just once again, 24th of October for Comics Curing Cancer, the live show doing a very special live stream and auction. We're going to have some of our artist friends doing some covers, some sketch covers for everyone to bid on for Comics Curing Cancer.
Well, I'm certainly going to catch that. Is the bidding going to be only live, or will the bidding be allowed to go on for like 24 hours after?
Still have to talk to Rob and the guys about that, but I believe what we're going to do is it'll be live. I think it'll be kind of how they did when they had Mark Spears on last year,
right?
Where it's just, people bidding on things, but we're going to go for an hour and a half. So, and the artists are going to be working and talking. And so we're going to have cameras on their work and people will be able to see. And I think what we're going to do, there were like Nick was talking to Nick Marinkovich today, and he was asking, do you have a request? What would you like for me to do? And I'm like, man, I know he does such good Conans. I was thinking that, but I was like, well, maybe like on my channel, we'll like do like a vote. I'll like just like do a poll and people can like say, hey, Suspiria would like you to do a Vampirella, or, Nick, do a Conan or something. We could figure that out. Maybe, what people would like and would cause the most bidding, so we could get the most money donated to Comics Curing Cancer.
Very cool. No, that's really cool that you were asked to do that sort of thing. I'm not, I don't have the pull in the artist world that you do. I do know a couple of artists, but most of them are guys, otherwise, and I certainly don't have the weekend time to do that. So I put my money in a different way. I actually tried.
I reached out. They didn't reach out to me. I reached out to Mark, reached out to Rob first, and he said to reach out to Mark, and I pitched the idea. I was like, hey, and I had already spoken to Suspiria about it. So wheels were already in motion, and we just talked yesterday about confirming it.
Well, I think that Kay Munin likes the idea of Vampirella.
She does a great Vampirella.
Awesome. So one last thing about the live show, and then we'll get the books. How did that, like, seriously, how did you make that decision to start going towards the artist? Like, just what happened? Like, did you say, hey, let's just take a flyer, or did you actively decide to sit down and go, this is okay, but let's do this and keep the hangout?
Well, I think the way that it happened, when we first started, Rich and I were both talking about what we would like. And, I think it was Rich's idea first to do like an interview and then like a hangout directly afterward, which that kind of developed into Rich would share the link and we'd let people come on and talk to whoever the guest was, because nobody was doing that. That was different. It was, normal. It's just a couple of people talking, or it's a hangout. We wanted to kind of do both. But then what happened was I also mentioned, I was like, what I've always wanted to do, even when I was young, was talk to the people who make the comics. Like, like the only way you could do that when we were young was to like write in, and they would publish a letter maybe and answer your letter or something. But
Yeah.
like, or go to a convention, and then you got 5 minutes to talk to the person. But I wanted to hear their story, and I wanted to hear how they got into comics and that kind of thing. And I talked to Rich about that when we first started. I was like, that I would like to get to that level where people would come on and actually engage and talk to us, and we could learn about the process. We could learn about how they started, or why they do monsters or superheroes, what makes them tick. And then we when we got Kunka on, we got Kendrick Lim on, and I saw that it really wasn't that hard. Like, if you if you if you're friendly and you approach, I kind of started just approaching a bunch of people, and then more people started saying yes. And I think both of us kind of saw that it was something that, there are some people who do it, kind of some of the time, and or do like, real underground kind of stuff. But there weren't a lot of channels who were doing it all the time, like every week, having somebody on. So I think we kind of carved out our own kind of niche.
Definitely picked out, like, not only did you pick out a niche with bringing artists on, but you seem to be. I haven't seen a lot of other Saturday Night Lives. I know there are some. I know Mad Spidey's on and a few others, but I haven't seen as many advertised during that time as I see even on Sunday night during my superhero show time. There's still 3 or 4 other shows on that I see advertised quite a bit that I'm up against. But you just seem to have that sweet spot for some seriously awesome reason.
It was. I think more people are doing stuff on Saturdays now. We do notice, but yeah, I mean, we, like, a lot of the people in the chat, they really seem to like what we're doing, and a lot of people show up, and we've had some crossover. Like, some people have come over from other shows, Beyond Wednesdays, or Willie, who I met through Crom, or things like that, where so our own audience kind of has started to become people who really like what we're doing specifically, I think.
Well, I just want you to know out there that most people I know like the show, that have mentioned the show. Nobody has ever told me they don't like it, so that's good. And
we're both proud of it. Like, I talk about it a lot, I know, and Rich and I I talk to Rich, offline, multiple times a week, and I know we were both thrilled that we got the nomination, and yeah, I think we're both very proud of it, and I think we really have fun doing it. We both look forward to Saturdays, and it's, I mean, it's a lot of work, but I mean, it is a lot of fun.
I find myself a lot of Saturday nights sitting there clearing my schedule for the show.
No, even sketty dinners, moving the sketty dinners aside.
Family has to come first sometimes, but I mean, like, for the most part, if I don't watch it live, I watch it on the replay. So, I mean, I do try to watch it all, but a lot of times, even if I'm just before the hangout part, if I'm just doing this, sorting comics or writing up my own scripts for my own, I still got it on in the background and I'm listening. And that's why I usually have questions ready when I come on. So, as a result, and I appreciate that you give. One of the things I like about the show is that you give people like myself or Adam. I see Adam's here in the crowd. Hi, Adam. Or even Gotham and Glam was on once, and I saw Celia in tonight.
I think she's on a couple of times. She's come on.
Yeah, and but you give us a chance to come on, and Stevie D always comes on, always smiling, awesome Stevie D.
Yep, one of the best.
Comes on, and he's just happy to have a chance to talk to people like this, and you're giving people that opportunity through your show, and I think that's awesome.
That kind of grew again. I think that was originally Rich's idea, to have like the interview part and then the hangout part, and I think it kind of naturally developed as we started having on a lot of the creators and things that we found that, I mean, certain guests people really want to talk to, which it's the strangest thing. Like, when we have like an attractive female artist, everybody wants to talk. I know it's strange. I don't know why. I don't know why that happens.
I don't know why that happens either. Good to see you, Doc. Doc's Comics.
Good to see you, Doc.
Kevin is going to be with me on Sunday. He and Mark, Archie's Comics, Mark are going to be my guests on the Sunday Superhero Show this weekend. So, looking forward to that. All right, let's make you big there, Chonko, and take a look at some of the stuff you brought.
Sure. So, talk to Matt about what he wanted me to show, and
little bit, little bit.
I decided, everybody knows I show Brazilian horror a lot, but what I haven't really shown is I haven't shown like raw books, like Brazilian raw books very often. So I busted out some of my Brazilian raw books. I've got a lot of them. Some of them are with Jason, like a couple of cool ones are with Jason. I think he just finished working on them. Those will be going in, but yeah, this is some cool stuff. This is actually it's a recreation of an American pre-code horror comic. It's like one of the Atlas books, and I just could not find it. I was looking for it today. I even asked Alan, but I don't think he saw me yet. But this is Contos de Terror number 55, and it's this really cool.
Oh, nice.
He's got the doctor all bound up, and he's like the monster's injecting himself. But yeah, there is an Atlas book where it's like a panel, and there are like things on the side. That's what it's based upon, but I believe it's a recreation of the cover. I don't think it's like a direct reproduction of the cover. So, yeah, cool one. I for the people who are not familiar, I collect a lot of the Brazilian horror. It's like one of my favorite things, and a lot of these are super rare. A lot of the things I get are like only known copy, that kind of stuff. So,
well, it's also interesting, like that you're interested in them. It's nice to have a niche collection too, like Lyle has all this old obscure stuff. You've got the Brazilians.
Yeah, I think this happens to a lot of people. You go down a rabbit hole, like you find something you like, and once you go down the rabbit hole, sometimes it's like really rare. Like people who get into original art, which I have started. It's like when you know that you're the only one who has that, like they're like, it's not like somebody could say, "Hey, I really like that. I'd like to go get a copy of that." No, you can't. Sorry, because there's only one. Like it's like that's like original art, and it's like that with some of this kind of stuff. But yeah, can you imagine? The work that would take?
No, I don't want to. Turtwig wants to know if you speak Portuguese.
Not a lick of it. But the thing is, a lot of these, at least part of them are they're American Golden Age horror comics that they've reproduced, and then some original Brazilian too, and they're in Portuguese. So if you really want to read them, you can read them the American version. But almost all the covers are original, and they're usually painted, which I really like. But this one is Clássicos de Terror number 16. It's by someone named Lyric. This is the only time I've run into this specific artist. But this would be it's just a really cool painted cover that I just picked this up recently. And yeah, it's a cool one. It's like early 70s for that one.
That's a nice looking one. The Grim Reaper on it in particular is really nice.
And this one is Silêncios de Terror and number 73. This is Nico Rosso. Nico Rosso worked late 60s into early 70s. Just so you're aware, like what was like Silver Age for us was basically like the Golden Age still for them. They never had a comics code, so the same types of covers went all the way, extended from the 50s through the 60s into the 70s. So a lot of the same type of painted horror covers continued on, and a lot of the reproduction of some of the American Golden Age was still going on in Brazil. But this one is Nico Rosso. Nico Rosso's kind of known because he blended horror with like pinup girl, kind of good girl art in a lot of his stuff. And yeah, it's this is Nico Rosso cover, this kind of like Arab vampire and the harem girls. And Nico Rosso always signed his name like with bat wings. It's always kind of a cool touch that he had on his signature. And so this next one is kind of like this. The main artist I collect is a guy named Jaime Cortez, and he's like the godfather of all this in Brazil. And he's like the most collectible. When you run into his stuff, it's always more expensive than the others. But the other guy is a guy named Jose Ravelli Nito, and he went by a moniker called Zizo. And this is a Zizo cover. This is a Zizo Frankenstein cover. This Cantos de Terra Frankenstein. But yeah, you can see kind of this cool painted Zizo cover, Frankenstein cover.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Rich doesn't have that.
Well, I think this might be the only copy.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Yeah. I would have to look, but I'm not sure that another one exists or another known one. Sometimes these resurface, but it's like they're so rare. First off, Brazil's a really harsh climate. It's very humid. And these staples rusted, these pages fell apart. The paper they used is high acid content too, so it crumbles really easily. And another thing is there was not a collector culture for this. They treated these like newspapers. They threw them away. It wasn't like in the US for many, many years. Like until kind of recently, people didn't collect comics very much. So there aren't very many of these that survived. They're really, like when I say gone, they're really gone. There are no warehouse finds coming. That doesn't happen. But this is another Zizo cover. This is this cool underwater cover.
Oh, nice.
With the ghost pirates.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Yeah. It's a cool one. It is there it's like you see the staples are all rusted out. So like I've had to some of these I've had to ask Jason for help, and he's helped me out on those deacidifying the paper, so it doesn't crumble, getting staples replaced, and getting some touch up and stuff. Like he's a magician. He's been able to help out with some. But yeah, this is a cool one. Maybe someday this might be conserved, but for now it's kind of in that shape. But yeah, really cool one. And this is another Zizo cover. This is O Sobrenatural, number 56. So another Jose Ravelli Nito Zizo zombie cover. That's a cool one. But
Sobrenatural. Very nice.
So yeah, another cool Zizo. And here's another Zizo. This is O Sobrenatural, number 53. And the lady's in the graveyard. She's like robbing the grave, and then the ghost is coming for her as she's trying to steal the stuff out of the jewels and stuff out of the grave.
That's true. I forgot K Munin speaks Portuguese.
There's some of the stuff it can be like supernatural. Some of the stuff is a little bit it's similar to Spanish, but
it helps if you know French or Spanish. It really does.
Yeah, it is. There are differences, but yeah. But this is a Jaime Cortez. This is Otero Negro, so Black Terror, number 63, and it's this cool, like the dude has died and his ghost is coming out, and it looks like she has shot him, and his ghost is now leaving his body. But this is the great Jaime Cortez. He's like top of the food chain for these artists.
Okay. Do you find a lot of these in America, or do you have to go to the source a lot?
Depends. Some dealers get them, and one of the things is once you start getting an interest in something that's real niche like this, people start to get to know you, and they offer them to you. And I get offered Brazilian comics 2 or 3 times a week. Most of the time, it's like they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll sell you that for $1,200," because they have no idea. They have no idea what these things are actually worth. And so usually I'm like, no, that's not it. And then some. I do have 2 people in Brazil that I buy from, and they know what I like and what I might be interested in. So yeah, I buy some from Brazil, some here in the US, some dealers. It's just in the US sometimes it's hard because people think that they're going to make a fortune, and it's there are some. I mean, like if you have extremely high grade and something that's really desirable, Cortez, then and you get it graded, there are times where maybe you could get $1,200, but getting high grades for this stuff is very, very hard. But usually, like even at auctions, graded, we're usually looking between like $400 and $700. That's kind of like and 700 would be a lot.
So that brings me to my next question. How is the value determined? Like considering the stuff is so rare, yet at the same time not in huge demand. How do you set prices?
You have to go by, well, I now have maybe a couple hundred of these now. So I've bought enough that I kind of know, based upon the artist, based upon the subject matter, based upon the condition, I kind of know the ballpark of what I'd be willing to spend. But it is hard. Like when I first started doing it, I overpaid on stuff. But once you kind of can figure that part out, and also graded for these, I would buy graded all the time unless you can get a good deal on a raw book, because you don't know what you're getting. You don't know if it's trimmed. I'll show you one in a minute that I bought that's trimmed. I didn't know it was trimmed. Or
I hate that.
Yeah, and it happens.
I have to replace my Adventure 346 because I don't want to say I bought it sight unseen, but the pictures looked really blurry on eBay, but the price was great, so I bought it. And then I got it, and I found all the pages were there, but it was trimmed on all three sides. And I'm like, oh. Yeah. That's the first appearance of Karate Kid, Princess Projectra, and Pharaoh Lad. So it's gonna be a pricey replacement. So
yeah, I would say that for anything, even if you're buying Golden Age raw books and you can't hold it in your hands, Silver Age, I would still question. Like I would, first off, everybody listen to me. This is like number one rule of all of this. If you don't ever take any advice from me ever again, do not pay graded prices for raw books. Don't do it. Do not do that. Especially old books, because you don't know what you're getting. Not really. And you might think you can detect everything, but do you know how to find color touch? Are you really good at it? How about really, really tiny tear seals? Do you know? Because I know people who have been doing this for a really long time and are really into that stuff, and they still miss it. And it happens. If you're always take that into take that into account when you're making your offer. For Brazilian books, I'm going to take it really into account. I'm going to go even lower because I don't know what I'm getting. So, but yeah, Jeff, in some cases, I am establishing the price, but I'm establishing the price I'm willing to pay based upon what I've purchased in the past. And again, if it's graded, and then I'm willing to go higher, especially if it's graded and it's a higher grade, of course I will. But that normally that's not what people are offering me. Usually what they're offering me is something kind of like what I'm showing right now. And those I have to kind of hedge my bet and go lower.
Very cool.
So this is Miguel Penteado. He looks like a lot of his stuff looks a lot like Jaime Cortez. But one of the things you find out as you start to go down this rabbit hole is Penteado was a protege of Cortez, and Cortez worked on books with Penteado, allowed Penteado to sign his name to the book, even though in some cases it's clearly Cortez did a lot of the work. But yeah, this is Miguel Penteado, Historias Negras, so Black Stories, O Monster de Noite, so Monster of the Night Monster. But it's this cool monster. This clearly looks like a Cortez book, but it's signed Penteado. So most likely they both worked on this book. And Cortez at this stage in his career was very famous and would just allow Penteado to sign. So, and this is a Cortez. This is one I bought. The pictures were not great on this. I didn't pay a lot, but it is trimmed on all three sides. It is there's a lot. The staples have been replaced by like twine. There's a lot of bad stuff going on with this, but this is this really cool Cortez cover. This will always stay raw just because of all the faults with it. But yeah, the dude riding up, and this guy's been hung and stabbed through the chest.
Oh wow, overkill at this point.
Yeah. literal.
Robbie is right. It looks like a Classics Illustrated. He really does.
Some of them do. I think that's a good call. Some of them actually do. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then this is another Zizo, another Zizo cover, Contos de Terror, and this looks like a Golden Age cover. It's one of the Punch covers. It's like this. It's from 1957. And you could see girl in the red dress and the hand reaching down. There's a I believe it's either Punch or Dynamic, where it's something similar where there's a giant hand grabbing someone out of a grave. So it's almost like an homage, not quite.
I don't think so. Turtwig, they're Portuguese. They might have been. Were they sold in Portugal?
Well, I mean, of course, things could have made them all the way around the world, but these are specific to Brazil. Everything I'm showing here, very specific to Brazil. Although Jaime Cortez was Portuguese by birth, he immigrated to Brazil in the mid '50s. He was a cartoonist in Portugal, moved to Brazil and started working at a company called La Selva, and he kind of put the company La Selva on the map. And that's where a lot of these guys started working eventually. But it's all because of Cortez. It goes back to Cortez and the company La Silva. But yeah, Cortez was Portuguese, but lived and worked in Brazil.
Very cool.
And then this is another Nico Rosso cover. As I mentioned before, Nico Rosso combined like the horror with like the pinup kind of good girl stuff. But this is a Clásicos de Terror. And you can see kind of the monster and the scantily clad girl out of the shower. Kind of, this is very classic Nico Rosso. This is how he did a lot of his covers. They kind of looked like this. So
yes.
Yeah,
I love the fact that they got the woman in the towel. That's just nice.
Yeah, he did a lot like that. And this is a Jaime Cortez. There are a lot of problems with this one, but again, I didn't pay a lot for it. But this, I believe this is from a bound edition. This is another thing that you get with these. There were a lot of bound editions. You still find some of these in bound editions, and a lot of times the guys in Brazil, now that they know that there's some value, they break them out of the bound edition, and then they just will tape it or glue it. So obviously, there's not much you can really do with those.
No.
But this is this cool Dracula cover. You can see the spine is completely glued. This was most likely in a bound edition with several other comics and then broken out of the bound edition. But again, some of my goal with this is to save these because they are so rare. They just don't exist. Like, getting them, it's like, sometimes it's like, I need to get that because otherwise it's going to rot. Like sometimes, so even something like this, I'll buy, if I can get it for the right price, which in this case is probably, $150, $170. And I want it to be saved. And maybe someday someone like Jason can work on this and further save it. But for now, at least it's not like rotting in a basement or in a warehouse, somewhere, in Brazil.
It feels good knowing, I mean, even when I do it too, but when you rescue something from a dollar bin, I feel the same way. It feels good, like you're rescuing it from the junk pile almost, and it's nice. It's a nice feeling, and it makes me appreciate it more.
And I think, and again with these, where there's only one or two or five known copies, or sometimes you'll find one, and that you can even look on the CGC census on some of these, and there are gaps. It'll be like you'll see like number 1, 2, 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 23. There are none. There are no graded copies, and then you can go and do a search and find that it's never come up in an auction that you can find. So in those cases, unless it's in somebody's drawer in Brazil somewhere, there might be one or two copies around. They do not exist. They've rotted and they're gone. There was not a huge.
I would imagine a lot of the conditions in Brazil, living conditions as well, don't make it difficult for people to save them as well.
Back then, now it's become now that people have realized that there's some value to these. First off, I've talked about this before, but there's a guy named Sky Ott. Sky Ott owns more of these than anyone. Even anybody in Brazil. He also owns most of the original art for like a guy named Jaime Cortez. And he was doing this 10, 15 years ago. He was buying this stuff up for pennies on the dollar. And a lot of the guys in Brazil, they don't like him because they were like, "Oh, you want this? Sure, like $5 or something." And now it's like worth a lot more than that, and they feel taken advantage of, probably rightly so.
Dog. He says you've got that smooth, sexy FM radio voice.
Yeah,
I've said that to him before myself, so that's why I find it amusing.
Yeah, it's
Biggie has a question. What made you, or why did you buy your first Brazilian?
It was Yaniv, Stray Flexin. It was one of the first times that Alan had him on, maybe a year and a half ago, something like that. And he was going through, he showed everything, and I kind of wasn't interested in that much. And then he had this book in a bin, he was just kind of flipping through these things. And there was this like 0.5 graded copy of this book. And it was these witches boiling a guy. And I was like, whoa, it was painted colors. What is that? Wait, stop. And then he pulled it out, and I don't even think I argued with him on price. I was like, I want that. And I got it. And then I started reading about it, and reached out to a guy, Josh at International Comics, started talking to him about these things, wanted to learn about it. It turned out the one I bought, there were only 2 copies of this, that copy of this Otero Negro, the first Jaime Cortez I bought, and the 2 known copies, he has the other one. I just started reading more about it, and became fascinated about Jaime Cortez, and then started learning about the other artists, and then it just takes on a life of its own. You just fall further and further down the rabbit hole. So yeah, it just, when I first saw it, that cover, it was cooler than anything I'd seen in a really, really long time.
Yes, no, it's amazing watching guys like you and Lunch Money Mike, and have really made me look at the value of international other comics as well now. I mean,
yeah,
I never thought that even the British comics I thought were not that great per se in terms of owning them. Yet now I have a couple. I have a couple German comics. I have a couple, one in Swedish that someone sent me, a couple in French. But I mean, growing up, I grew up in Ottawa, which is probably 30% French. So I saw a lot of French comic books growing up, and I never thought to pick any up. I always thought, well, I can't read those, so why would I bother? And now I wish I had bought some, because I see what they're going for now.
Yeah, I mean, and it does depend sometimes, but yeah, if you follow International Comics on Instagram, Josh, really nice guy. He knows a lot about this stuff. I think he's gotten a lot out of, I think he's gotten out of Brazilian books more and more. But for me, it's like, and once I started getting into it, I started to see how rare they were. Like, then I kind of went on a mission to, like, not only get them, but to save them, like, to make sure that, they're not rotting somewhere. I really started taking that seriously when I was like, really, that doesn't even exist.
Sorry, I speak French, Lau, but not good enough to read the kind of French they use. They use big words in those comic books and expressions I don't quite get, because the idiomatic parts of the language sometimes are hard to explain.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chonko. I just wanted to catch that one while you said that.
Yeah. I just have a few more. I'll show. Just these are all slabbed. I showed what I brought from the other room for. I have more of those, but I brought what I thought were the cooler ones. But this one I got kind of recently. It's kind of an interesting one. This is Historias Macabras number 22 from 1961. This is a Jaime Cortez painted cover, and it's just really cool. It's like this conquistador looking knight where he's got stabbed with a spear, and these cool, like, bats and everything. This is the only known copy of this. And this one in a 6.5 is really high. It's a high grade for these.
That's a high grade for any of the Brazilians you've shown with the deterioration.
Yes, yeah, they don't usually get that high. And this one, it's where it says this oferta dos editores. This is an editor's offer. So this means this would have been given away to somebody on the creative team. So the company would have given this either to one of the writers or editor or the artist. So it's possible this was Jaime Cortez's copy, which is, it might be why it survived in such a high grade. So
very cool. That is such a good book.
And
I've seen you show that one before, but it's gorgeous.
Here's another wild one. It's this is Historias de Terror number 60 from 1965. I believe this is a reproduced panel that was made into a cover, a panel from an American Golden Age comic turned into a cover, but it's really cool. It's the two people have been strung by their ankles, and the guy's draining their blood and drinking it. It's so crazy. But yeah,
that's wild. Oh
yeah, a little bit of exsanguination.
I think that one's one of my favorites that you just shown.
Here's just have a few more here. This one is another Cortez. This is Almanac Clásicos de Terror number 7. This is from 1976. I believe this is a reused image. I think this was an image used on something earlier that was used again. But Almanac Clásicos de Terror, and it's this really cool, like horrific visages in the back, and the guy in the wheelchair, the girl with eyes glazed over, and this would have been later in Cortez's career. So
very cool.
Yeah, really cool one. Then this one is another Cortez, and I just got this fairly recently. Sobrenatural number 28 from 1956, and this is a really cool. Like, he did a lot of really good realism and stuff, but real super sharp, realistic Sobrenatural cover where the guy's being drugged down into the pit, maybe hell.
Wow, that that is one thing I gotta admit I'm curious about. When I die, am I going to get pulled down, or is there going to be nothing? Because I don't think I'm going up.
Oh, have faith, Mike. Have faith, Matt. You're a good person. And then this will be the last one I brought for this, but this is Historias Negras, number 8, so Black Stories, and this is from 1967, and this is another Nico Rosso cover. And one of my favorites, actually, my favorite's like non-Cortez, but it's really cool. The ghost with the sword, and this guy's being held down like to be beheaded by the ghosts in the graveyard, and
very cool.
Yeah, and then Nico Rosso, you could see his cool signature with the bat wings, like I pointed out earlier. But yeah, all painted covers, all really cool stuff.
But okay, K-Mutant, that's funny.
Those were the books I brought.
Those awesome. Those were great looking books. And for those that are watching on the rerun, I hope that you enjoy them as much as we did here as we were watching them live. Keep in mind, everybody, we are very close to 1,000. 1,000 means that I get to play Santa, and I'm looking forward to it very much. A couple of people, friends off camera, said I'm nuts for giving it away, but just think of it as Crazy Matt. He's there and he wants to, it's more because I want to give back to all the people who have helped me get that far. And that's why I want to do a big one. It's like, go broke or go home. And in this case, so I hope everybody joins us for that. Hopefully we can get there soon and we can have a blast. Chonko, you're of course going to be one of the people invited to the pizza party, as so many people are saying. I'm going to invite a few people to stop by and just talk. We're just going to have a little fun fest. We're going to give away. I'm going to ask my guests, to name the hashtags so that somebody else can say, hashtag Matt is crazy. Crazy Matt.
Instead of a pizza party, have a sketty party.
Right? Oh, sketty party, yeah.
But One thing I wanted to mention, I mentioned it before, but just for the people who have never heard, Matt was the very first person who ever called out my channel publicly, like when nobody was watching me. Like, and Matt was on Biggie's one time, and he was like, "Hey, have you seen this guy Chonko?" And I was traveling. I travel often. I can't remember, somewhere in South America watching Biggie's show. And I was like, well, "Hey, he's talking about me. That's me." And then they both started talking, and Biggie put my channel on kind of live, and then Biggie gave me a shout out live. So yeah, Matt and Biggie are the first people who ever like publicly mentioned me.
And well, there's a reason for it. We thought you were good. It's that simple. I was impressed from that first time you jumped on when I put out the thing and said, anybody want to come on? And you came on and said, what the hell? Hi, I went, checked out your stuff. Like literally the second we got off camera, I went, checked out your stuff. I subscribed to you, and I became a Chonko maniac. And therefore, we went with that. And everybody else there also, you have, excuse me, you have 6 days left to join my channel before I do that giveaway. Remember, so if you want to be a member, just really quick, should have been prepared for this. I knew I was going to mention it tonight, but crazy night. This is the prize for the members giveaway. It is an exclusive variant to Nefarious comics. There are only 1,000 printed, so you have a chance to win that. It's retailing at about 29 bucks Canadian right now. If you want to buy one, you can check out nefariouscomics.ca and check it out. He's my sponsor, and he's been a great friend of the channel. He has donated one of the 10 prizes that I'm giving away on the night on the big party. So we're gonna have a blast.
I would like to win that one. I like that book.
Well, Chonko, you are a member of the channel, so you have a chance.
I am.
I'm not gonna sign that. I already signed the photograph Alan gave away of me and George Perez. So anyways, well, K-Munin, you're not a member as far as I know right now, so you don't have anything to worry about on that one.
Wait, but by the way, congrats to K-Munin. He made the finals for channel supporters.
He did. He's up against, he's in tough because you got JSS and Christina Payne in there as well. Two very, very good wrenches out there.
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry. Nate's coming up. Go give him a watch at 8 o'clock over on his channel at Holyak Comics. The guys are there. Johnny's going to be missing tonight, so there won't be a Johnny Hates DC segment, but they're still funny as heck without him. Also, one last, oh my God, I just blanked on what I was going to say. That happens.
Everybody vote in the community awards. Everybody vote in the awards.
There, that's it. Vote in the community awards. But yes, on Sunday, I remember now. On Sunday on the Superhero Show, I've got Kevin from Doc's Comics and Mark's Issues with Archie Comics both coming on. They will be my guests. We are in for a treat because I have hereby declared that Archie is a hero, and therefore Archie books are allowed on the show. So we're going to have a blast. We are going to have a blast. Thanks, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you very much, Mike, for taking the time with us. Give Chonko a belly rub for all of us. And thank you all for coming. My name is Matt. I like comics, and I hope you do too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.